And the revolution has started. When government officials, when I was growing up, we were told, Serikali, you must respect government. But when you see now, the people getting so annoyed and angry and saying, get out of this place. And the officers are running, they are running. Soon they'll start chasing police. Even the military will come and they'll be chased. What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house, this is not for going. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.
A lot has happened this week. It's Friday, and with Friday, it's Philip Kisia Unscripted, from parliamentarians defying President William Ruto on Finance Act of 2023 to President William Ruto talking about him having a running mate who is a woman, if he will actually vie in 2027. Also, plans to remove the Auditor General as the head of the Office of Auditing. These conversations are simple, truthful, and unbiased with Philip Kisia. I'm telling you, Kisia, a lot is happening in the political arena, and we have to talk about all this today. But first, how are you doing? How's the week for you?
Jed, I'm good. I was here yesterday. I'm here again today. Feeling much better.
Yeah.
Strong. And ready to hit.
Let's start then with Rigathi Gachagua, our deputy president, whom we love and we respect. It seems like he will not be the running mate of President William Ruto if Ruto vies in 2027, because he has tasked Cecily Mbarire to formulate new set of laws that will require that will show up strategy, a way to have a running mate that is a woman if the party nominates a man to be the flag bearer in the next coming elections during the launch of Women Governors Caucus G7 strategy. Two things here. One, the president might actually telling women what they want to hear, just to show them that he's with them. Second thing, the president might be looking for a way to remove Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua as his running mate in 2027. Am I making sense in some of these conclusions I'm having?
Jed, the president has spoken. And he has spoken well. I believe in women. Jed, for who I am today, I must remind you that I was raised by a woman. I was not raised by a man. So what a man can do, women can even do it even much better. So I have all the faith and confidence in women leadership. They are less corrupt than men. They care. They are true love. They are genuine in whatever they do. So if you put them in a position of responsibility, to a large extent, there will be better results. And we've seen governors who have delivered, Governor Wanga and the rest. Even Cecily Mbarire, my friend, they have delivered.
Okay.
They are doing better than what men do, because men, especially African men, are just known to amass wealth, steal public funds, nothing short of stealing public funds. But I'm happy what is happening for women. Last week at LSK, a woman floored all the men who are there. A beautiful thing. I was very happy for that lady. Well done. International Women's Day was there again. And then I also attended a conference for women in dispute resolution. Beautiful things happening for women. So, I'm happy that even President William Ruto is thinking about in those lines that we want to support women. But, the question is, are these stories of Jabba or the usual short stories that are told by William to make people happy? What he's saying makes sense, but it's just a story, short stories as usual. If indeed he means it, it is a good thing for this country. It means that because he has been president for 5 years, as negotiating with Gachagua, if Gachagua employed me to advise him, I'll tell him to advise his boss to retire in 2027. On two accounts, yes. On two accounts. He has been president for 5 years. They share the same vision. So let Gachagua now carry that vision for another 5 years. It's a win-win situation. It's win-win.
Okay.
William has won. Gachagua can have a deputy as a woman.
Yes.
Gachagua would have, it's the same vision. So it's a good thing. On the other side, on the other hand, will Gachagua just accept to be thrown out under the bus? I doubt. Because Gachagua is a fighter. He will not just go down as fast and as easily as you think. Don't forget that he comes from the largest community. Although I keep on reminding my Kikuyu brothers that Luyas are number one. 30% of their children are actually our children. They're ours. One day we shall come to claim them. So, Jed, I will not be shocked that it's ours. Because all the intelligent, all the young intelligent, they are Luyas. But anyway, that's a story for
another day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Gachagua should take this thing and run with it. Let's retire William in 2027. It will be good for this country. So that Kenya Kwanza can have a man, hopefully Gachagua as the flag bearer, and a woman as deputy.
But,
okay? So, but I can tell you, those are just short stories. I don't see it happening. I don't see Gachagua agreeing. And I don't even see Ruto agreeing to step down in 27. Because his lieutenants, you've had his lieutenants. Early last year, they were talking about, we want to remove the term limit. It was not the lieutenant speaking. It was William Ruto speaking. Through his, test the waters. The thing became very hot, they kept quiet. So now, I'm sure he's so eager to do a second term. And that explains why he has sent, very willingly, he is dispatching Baba to AU. Dispatching so that the competition is weaker.
Don't you think this is Baba's idea weaker to go? So
President Ruto. If I were him, I'd do the same thing. I'll support this man to go, get out of the way. Why would you want him here anyway? He's caused enough trouble.
Okay. So you're saying this story, this move by William Ruto to Cecily Mbarire tasking her, the most likely story is a jabber.
Story is a jabber. They will talk, and then what happens?
You will still have a man running it.
You still have a run, and you see, why not even, if actually, if you talk about transforming this nation, if you talk about transforming our politics, in fact, William should retire in 27 and run a woman presidential candidate, and a male as a running mate.
Speaking of women, we are talking about the Auditor General. There's a bill in Parliament seeking to remove her as the head of National Auditing Office. You praised her on our previous conversation. You said she's doing a very good job together with the Controller of Budget. Why are they making this move now? If someone like you can praise her and say that she's doing a good job, why is she a threat to Kenya Kwanza's administration?
Now, Jed, why are you saying if you can praise her?
Yeah.
I praise people who do good jobs. And I've told you, women do better jobs. They do the job better. And when women are doing good things and they're delivering on their assignments, we should praise them. We should appreciate them. We should celebrate women. Okay? So the Auditor General, and I don't hold brief for her, the Auditor General's office is independent. It is in this constitution. It is not there courtesy William Ruto or courtesy the Kenya Kwanza government. It is here in this document. And if you were to change anything to do that office, forget about wasting our time, call us for a referendum and tell us that because that office is creating so much heat, exposing graft, exposing so many things that we don't want people to know, we want to remove that independence. We want that auditor to report administratively or otherwise to somebody else. Okay? Because it is causing a lot of discomfort. But for the leader of majority to waste time and tell us that they want to, to do what, to create another office, this office of the Auditor General is secured, and they need to carefully read Articles 226, 229, and 248, subsection 3. They need to look at those articles. It is not in their domain. It is not within their authority to even imagine that they can do anything with that office. They must live with it. And We were hoping, because one of the things that President William Ruto had promised was to run a transparent government, was to be accountable. But he seems to be running away from anything to do with accountability. Anything that requires accountability, he seems to be very uncomfortable with.
And this
He must leave with that office. It was created by the people of Kenya. They were not stupid when they say they want the Auditor General to be independent. They knew the benefits of having that office as independent, because you can see the things coming out. And thank God we have a lady, we have a woman, Ovala, a woman who has decided that if there's something that I want to leave as a legacy, is doing the job as per the Constitution. And I'm not going to be threatened. They tried following her in Mombasa, doing stupid things.
Yes.
Reminding us of the dark Kanu era. Very stupid, childish stuff. Chasing somebody, saying, oh, you are a director here, blah, blah. And yet the lady resigned from that circle many years ago. Why haven't they arraigned her in court? They're just trying to intimidate the lady. So they have no room, they have no chance. The office remains. It is independent, period.
Let's talk about members of parliament. Kandara MP Chege Junguna and Gatanga MP Edward Muri, who voted for the Finance Act of 2023, now teamed up with local farmers during KRA's awareness campaign in the area. And they said, we don't want this taxation imposed on informal small-scale businesses and informal farming in the area. They seem to have taken a paradigm shift after voting for this Finance Act. And my question is, what is happening first in Mount Kenya region? Because these are MPs from that region voted, despite calls from Gathoni wa Mushomba, not for the region to take support the Finance Act. And now these MPs have started saying no to what they said yes to. What is happening there?
I keep on saying there's no parliament. These guys don't think for themselves. They work for their stomachs. And I had one of the MPs from UDA from Central Kenya talking and saying that they were called to State House one day, and they were reminded by their party leader that he's the one who gave them the votes. He also gave them money to campaign, and therefore that seat belongs to him. What these people need to remind the president, that they have been sent to parliament by the people of their various constituencies. They report to their constituents. They do not report to the president. That they owe their allegiance to the people who elected them. And the people who elected them just send them to parliament or to Senate to do four things: to legislate, to oversight, to represent, and to budget, to ensure that money is budgeted for running government and running the affairs of this country. So they have no other business dealing with the president. The president is taking us back to the Kanu regime, where the president was Alpha and Omega, and everybody reported to him. But I even saw the Nyeri senator crying and saying that, they made a mistake. Are they realizing now that they made a mistake? If they have realized that they made a mistake, what? Because they still have powers. They have a lot of powers. They can recall the president. They can pass a vote of no confidence in the president. They have many things they can do at their disposal. So if they are indeed serious, and they know they don't report to him, that their bosses are in the constituency, let them immediately move and do the right thing. Call in the president and tell him that if he does not amend his ways, the other options that are available to them, including a recall, including passing a vote of no confidence. Because just that block from Central Kenya, plus the opposition, can send the man home. Has it ever occurred to you that block and plus opposition home? Sugoi, by tomorrow morning. Is there a bus that goes to Sugoi?
Raila tried to climb the mountain.
So
he didn't get it to the top. So it seems very difficult for the mountain to work with the opposition now.
No, you see, are they even in government in the first place? Because they seem to be complaining like people, some of us were in the opposition.
Yeah.
They seem to be crying every day. The housing levy has hit them. The social health insurance fund is hitting them hard. They are being hit. Their businesses are being hit. Small businesses are being hit. Yeah. So who is suffering most? The people who are suffering most are the people from central Kenya. So let them cook themselves with the oil that they produced.
How can parliamentarians, we've gone into a different topic, but how can parliamentarians, strike a balance between party loyalty and legislative independence? Because this has always been the big question, because these policies are made by the party before they even took office. They had their manifesto, came up with their own policies, and they expect their leaders to be loyal to the party with these policies. And then on the other side, they have their roles as legislators. How can they create that balance?
There's nothing like a balance. The first call you have is what I've said. Why have you been sent to parliament? Who has sent you to parliament? That's your first call. First and last call. They didn't send you to do anything. They didn't send you to lump taxes on them. They didn't send you to pass punitive laws. They send you to represent their interests. So party or not party, your party number one is the people who elected you.
So you go against the party?
You go against if the policies that party or the party leadership is coming up with are retrogressive, are repugnant, are harmful, are going to destroy your people, you only be stupid to go with the party. You go with the people. Because the people will ensure that they give you a job when the right time comes. That party may not even be there. These parties don't even survive. We had TNA, we had I don't know what, we had Ruto's party. By the way, I was a member of Ruto's party for some time.
UDA.
Yes, UDA. Yeah. If you check in the records, I was a member there. So these parties actually in Kenya mean nothing. Yeah. The policies are made for the good of the people. If the policies are bad, we can discard them.
So there's nothing like party loyalty according to you?
No.
People are not.
Your loyalty number one is the people who have elected you, not to some party.
But this is a conversation we had.
Your loyalty number one. If your people say right, left. Because party is just a vehicle. Especially in Kenya. The party is just a vehicle.
This is the conversation we had with ODM when the likes of Jalango went to dine with the president in State House. And everyone was like, you are elected with this party, be loyal to the party, don't go dine with the president. They were coming out and saying, our people have sent us
Which people send these people? It is their stomachs which send them to go and dine with the president. They were not sent, and that's why most of them cannot go to the constituency. Because if you are sent by people, you can be very comfortable walking the constituency. Because it's the people who have sent you. But when your stomach has sent you, your own personal interests have sent you to go and sit down with the head of state, and you have no business sitting with the head of state, because what can he give you? He can only give you from his personal resources, because public resources are guided by the constitution. He can't build a road using his personal money. It is you as a member of parliament, you go to parliament and budget for those funds for that particular road. It is not State House. State House has no business.
So I'd want to know what is happening in the minds of these MPs, Jogona Chege, Edward Muriu, who, despite intimidation and threats from the president, are now coming out openly criticizing this Finance Act of 2023. What is happening? Are people in the region not working well with them? Is this the case? That's why they are coming out?
You see, it is simple. These people passed the bill not because it was a good bill. It is because of what most likely they got, which was short term. Whatever they got was short term. Either they wanted to please the master, and the master must have reciprocated in a way or another, we don't know, but he must have reciprocated, okay? Which was short term. The long term effect is you are going to face back the people. That those laws that you passed are harming your people. And your people are saying, no, we shall not accept. So the ground is so volatile. The ground is revolting. And this is how revolutions begin, in a small way. That government officers go somewhere to meet the people, talk to the people about the government policies and what have you, and they are chased away. They start innovate, and then they start blowing. So what you saw happening in Moranga, don't be surprised if it continue ballooning. It will get bigger and bigger to a point where the center will not be able to hold anymore. So be prepared for even worse. This is just a drop in the ocean.
Things will get bad.
Things are going to get worse.
How then can we design, or what design, Kisia, do you have when it comes to taxes? Because this is what is ailing this country. Everyone is complaining about taxes, from employed to non-employed. Do you have a design that you can advise this government to use when it comes to taxing small businesses, informal businesses, and these large enterprises?
You see, again, I'm happy you brought up that issue, because it's about tax administration. Okay? Nothing else. Because the first question you ask yourself when you are taxing is that a method or strategy you're using, is it efficient? Is it efficient? Is it effective? Is it economical? Tax efficiency, tax administration. Then you get into detail, you ask yourself, okay, do I have the right staff who have been trained, specialized in VAT, income tax, and so on and so forth? Are they experienced to do the job they're doing, or have I just picked? Then you look at the KRA board. Just now, mirror the KRA board. Who is the chairman? What experience does he have in matters taxation? Just, I mean, it's in the open. You saw my friend Sifuna posting something saying that the disaster management team has people with theology, degree in theology. I mean, misplaced, misplaced resources. Okay? So, if I was advising this government, and people like Musali, they should advise. They should say, forget about small businesses. It's not efficient. Forget about them. Don't bother about somebody who's making 500 shillings in a day, 1,000 bob in a day. You're saying pay taxes. It's not efficient. It's stupidity. Already, whatever 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 he's making in a day, or she's making in a day, is consumed through VAT. You get my point?
Yes.
Already, you're being taxed. So why chase small, little money? You're chasing small, little money, spending so much resources in terms of time or minutes, in terms of manpower, in terms of management, in terms of, it is, if you look at the net effect, you're making a loss. If you're doing business, it's actually a loss making. What these people should be doing is to focus on medium to large businesses. And then just lower the taxation. You know, because to avoid what? You know, avoidance and evasion. So just make sure that the taxes are not too punitive. Because when they're not punitive, these companies will pay. Because if you don't pay, the cost of correcting the mistakes you've done is more costly. So you'll just end up paying voluntarily. Of course, then they expect you to use their taxes prudently, as per the Finance Act. All right. The other thing is direct and indirect taxation. Okay. Focus on, because indirect, we are all affected.
Yes.
Whether you voted for Kenya Kwanza, like Margaret Wanjiru, and gave them a vision for Nairobi, you will be, if you are going to pay fuel, you will not buy it for 100 bob, you'll buy it for 200 plus. So indirect taxes have been taken care of to a large extent. Yeah. Where there's a problem is direct taxation, where most of these characters who are making big money are avoiding or evading tax. So we must find a formula to make sure that that we collect money from medium to large and direct taxation. Okay, it's easier. But for you to do that, you need, of course, a tax efficient system. You need personnel who have been trained, personnel who are motivated. You can't bring people from the streets who have no training in taxation, who have no training in income tax. You promote them at the expense of people who have been there working, trained in matters income tax or matters taxation. Then you just, you know, you cannot motivate people when they look at the board and they realize that some of them, have degrees in theology and have no problem with theology, or some of them have, some funny things.
Yes.
Okay, or even some of them have nothing, but they are chairing. They are members of board over serious institutions.
What
that needs to change.
What is the ripple effect of us continuing with this Finance Act of 2023, the board as it is in KRA, and our taxation system being as it is now?
You see, you can only see the effect. I think the other day, KRA were reporting results for the last quarter. The collections have gone down. Because you see, when you tend to overtax people, people spend less. When people are not making money, they have no money to spend. And the taxes, of course, will definitely go down. When you make the taxes so high, people try and avoid paying taxes. People run away from paying taxes. So we are yet, we are facing disaster in the coming days, where the collections will not be able to meet our expenditures, will be forced to revise our budgets to fit within the collections. Otherwise, then we'll continue borrowing. The other day, I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, I saw my president saying that our international lenders, the IMF and World Bank and so on and so forth, I think maybe even the Chinese, they should now restructure our loans to 4 to 50 years. I mean, I said, I know my president doesn't take wine like I do. I would have said there's something wrong. You want to transform this country into a Singapore. The years Singapore took to transform it and to turn it into a first world is less than 50 years. And you are saying that you want laws to be spread over 50 years. Are you sick? So I looked at that statement and I said, who is advising my president? These statements don't make sense. They are coming from somebody who is well-schooled. Even if he has not studied taxation, if he has not studied the matters to do with money, economics, for sure, even if I was sitting there, I would not want to have a debt running over 40, 50 years.
So are we looking at a government which is just purely incompetent? Is this the case? Not at the advisors, but the whole...
You see, I mean, if a government, and they keep on saying that I bash this government, but you see the results can be seen. Where have they succeeded? Have they succeeded in anything they're doing? Show me even one. Other than launching President Uhuru's projects in the last 17 months, 18 months, other than launching and relaunching projects that were rolled out, or completed, or almost complete by President Kenyatta. What has this government achieved? Other than increasing taxes, other than punishing Kenyans, what has this government done for the people of Kenya? Tell me, show me one.
Maybe.
Show me one project.
Yeah.
Show me one. And I'll praise them. Show me one, Jadel. You're a Kenyan.
I'm looking for answers in my head, and maybe my comment section people will help me, but we are wrapping up. Show us one project and then we'll talk about it. But Philip said this finance bill passes through parliament before it becomes an act. You advised the president on our previous conversation. What is your advice now to parliamentarians that are feeling the heat on the ground? The ground is becoming hostile and they have to go against the president now.
You see, you asked me to advise the president? The president and the members of parliament, they need to rethink. They actually need to run this government in a manner that is not selfish, in a manner that addresses the needs of the people. Because if you run a government using methods that are crude, methods that are injuring people, harming people, people will revolt. And the revolution has started. When government officials, when I was growing up, we were told, Serikali, you must respect government. But when you see now, the people getting so annoyed and angry and saying, we get out of this place. And the officers are running, they are running. Soon they'll start chasing police. Even the military will come and they'll be chased. And there'll be a revolution in this country. So to avoid a revolution in this country, I would advise that they relook at their programs and work within our means. Don't try and go overboard because you'll break our backs. But before you break our backs, we'll ensure that your backs are broken.
Well, what a place to wrap up. Thank you for tuning in to Philip Kisia Unscripted this fine week. Before you break our backs, we'll ensure that your backs are broken. That is Philip Kisia for you. Thanks for making time for us. We do appreciate. And salimia wa Kenya huko nje. We're always here every Thursday and Friday. Tell your friends to tell their friends. Leave a comment down below. Share these videos with as many people as possible. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Have yourself a lovely weekend ahead.